morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Get Rich 101. I'm your host. I'm Sacred Rights. I'm an author. Let me show you the book that I'm currently publicizing. Hack Your Pain Now. Hack Your Pain Now. It's about basically that, hacking your pain, getting past these things that try to hold you back, getting past them. Hack Your Pain Now. And today is, well, I guess it's day four? Day four? Yeah, day 7. Wow, went so fast. Day 7 of Stroke Awareness Month. May, which is Stroke Awareness Month. So I got a special guest coming on right quick, and we're gonna give him the intro and let's go. Hey Marko.
Hey, Sekou.
Hey man. So I know you're here for what I just said. May, which is uh,
Stroke Awareness Month.
Stroke Awareness Month. Stroke. I was saying it perfectly in the
I know.
right? When we talking, I was like perfectly aware. But anyway, Stroke Awareness Month. So yeah, so that's really interesting. And we are coming together for our, I don't know, maybe our first or second Stroke Awareness Month. But I want to talk to you about how it feels to be coming together for your Stroke Awareness Month, because you said something very interesting right before we got started. So tell us about it, please.
Yeah, no, I was saying that it's important for us to talk about Stroke Awareness Month as both of us being stroke survivors.
Yes.
But it's not something that I focus on a lot. I
Mm.
don't necessarily focus on Stroke Awareness Month until we're in May. It's kind of like, so I don't like you're planning shows around it. I with my shows and my station, Rhythm and Soul Radio, I don't do shows specifically around Stroke Awareness Month, being a stroke survivor, which is I guess kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But it's important to do. So maybe I need to focus on it a little bit more.
Yeah. It's interesting to me that I did not recognize that it was Stroke Awareness Month. I give props to your wife because I was just announcing this. I was just announcing my new hero hoodie, and I've got the red ribbon in here, which is for stroke awareness. And I got it right now, and she was like, "Oh, you're in time for Stroke Awareness Month." And I was like, "Oh wow, I guess I am." So I didn't even make a connection either. But I'm choosing to make it. I'm choosing to make it foreground. I'm trying to bring it into foreground. So next year I'm gonna be excited about it. We'll be talking about it. And there's something else happening exciting for me too. So not only is it Stroke Awareness Month, but my 500th day of running happens during May. I was like,
all right,
what? Right. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about all the things kind of coming together. So anyway, I also wanted to shout out my wife because she was the first person that I had on my show for stroke awareness, and I wanted to have on people who were loved ones of someone who had a stroke. And she told me that when she found you, she said to you, "You're having a stroke." And I thought that was amazing because I don't know anyone that would have known. Well, let me rephrase that. I had my stroke in front of a speaking continuum at Fisk University. So there must have been someone there who was able to recognize that I had signs of a stroke. But other than that, like my family, my friends, I don't know who would have gotten that. So tell us about your experience, your first experience with having a stroke.
So to go through the whole piece. It was a Sunday morning. I trying not to give too much information, but I was in the bathroom, and felt like and just felt weakness start to come over the left side of my body.
Mm-hmm.
and and like everything like as if you are watching a cartoon and the air goes out of a balloon and goes whoa, 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 whoa. That's what the left side of my body felt like. So
Wow.
it was like it just kind of everything just kind of dissipated. I started to lose balance. I was, trying to get to the sink to throw water on me, but I was losing my balance. So I got myself in a position where I wouldn't fall and hurt myself, but I did fall, but I just did not bang my head against the tub or the sink or stuff like that because I knew something was wrong. But then I couldn't reach up to like open the door to call my wife to say, "Hey, something's going on," and
Mm-hmm.
I and when I did, it took me a minute. When I did open the door, I couldn't properly say, "Hey, something's going on."
Right.
It was she was like, "What is that sound?" and came to me, and then she said, it looks like he's having a stroke. She didn't say
Wow.
it to me. She just immediately went to call 911. I don't even remember what else I said. I know I said stuff. I was aware. I was kind of alert. Not kind of alert. I was alert. I was aware of what was going on. I didn't
Wow.
lose consciousness, but I definitely lost a lot of control of my body at that point,
Wow.
and then that started the cycle of you know ambulance to hospital to different hospital to all the things that you know
Yeah.
that kind of brought me through.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that because I found myself being transported back to when I was having my experience, and my experience was different than yours, and which is goes to show that strokes can run the varies.
Hmm.
Strokes can be very different. So my stroke, I was speaking in front of the assembled student body at Fisk, and I found myself speaking, and I felt like no one was reacting to what I was saying. I was like, why is
Mm,
no one reacting to what I'm saying? I'm saying, a little something funny, something, something, but no one's reacting to what I'm saying. And then Miss, uh, forget her name right now, Miss Periwinkle. She saw me and she took over. Like she was kind of like a dance. She took over and she was speaking. And so while she was speaking, I went and sat down, and I thought I needed to get some water because someone asked me where the bathroom was. I said, "Oh, it's over there." And
mm,
she started laughing. I said, "What's funny?" I was like, "The bathroom is over there." And she started laughing again, and I was like, "Uh oh." I guess
mm.
I'm hearing myself say the bathroom is down there, but it's not what's coming out of my mouth. And so I
Right.
was like, "All right, I need to get out of here and get some air." So I remember this indelibly. I stood up and I turned to my left, and I couldn't turn. I tried to turn, and your balances you were talking about, the air,
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, and then someone caught me, and I couldn't even turn around to see who caught me, but that was it. That was it. That was like instantaneous blackout, and I kept on catching quick snippets, but I was not able to articulate anything. I was trying to get myself out of this physical space of the students because I was like, oh, don't let me fall out in front of the students. Like, let's get me
Right.
out,
Right.
let me out. And so I was moving hard in that sense. I was like, "Ah," and they would all push me back. All the parents would be like, no, 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 push me back. Like, they push me back. No, 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 no. And I was like, oh man, because the students were there, they were trying to do their graduation. And I was like, oh man, I felt bad about that. But then they took me out to an ambulance that was waiting, and that was it. I mean, I fell out immediately, and
Mm.
ever since then, well, the first thing that I remember was, well, that I had no memory. Like, I know it's a weird thing to say, but I had no
Yeah.
memory of who this person was that was hugging me. It turned out it was my mom. But I was like, who's this person that's hugging me? I guess I hug her back, but I didn't realize that was my mom. And so all those pieces of not knowing who I am and where I'm doing things, like all that happened from there, you know?
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, so our
Yeah, it's
is
like you
very, very
said,
different.
they're so different, and
Yeah,
it's a lot about the brain wiring because everybody's everybody's circumstance is different, everybody's wired differently, and that goes to show it.
yeah.
Yeah, and it also goes to show why everybody recovers differently. You know,
Yes.
some people recover fully. It's been um, 12, almost 13 years now for me, and I haven't, I can't run marathons. You within a year are running marathons. So everything is, everything works differently for everybody. Where some people are able to have different memory or better memory or whatever,
Yeah.
or they're able to speak in different ways.
Yeah.
And but others can't. I mean, it's just so interesting how it all works.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting you say that about the marathon because because what happened was one of the visitors to my house was talking about the marathon, and that reminded me that, oh, marathon, I think I'm registered for that. I mean, just barely, like it was something that had already happened before the
Right.
stroke. Like I'd already signed up, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then when I started talking, well, I couldn't really talk then, but when I expressed an interest in going, people were like, no, 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 bro,
Right.
nah, bro, next year, and I was like, no, this year. But I was thinking in terms of time, my time stretched out. My time stretched
Mm.
out. And so I was thinking next year is a long time from now. A long, long time from now. I did not see it in 4 months. I was like, and I was like, what do you mean I have to get ready? What do you mean I have to, like I just
Mm.
thought of it as a long time away. But then I noticed that the stories were changing about me. The story was changing because the church and the family and everybody was developing stories about me, and I felt like I needed to change the channel. I needed to change
Mm.
the channel. So people were talking about Sekou being in the stroke. I was like, yeah, but let me change the channel to Sekou's running in the marathon. And I'd never run a marathon before. Never run a marathon before. And I was like, it's gonna be hard because of my body. My body was my right side still hurts to this day. Still hurts to this day. But
Mhm.
I was paralyzed on my right hand side. And I was like, well, I'm going to have to walk it, was my thinking. I'm going to have to walk it. But even then, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot to get me there. And so
Right.
I decided that I was going to run for Guinness Book of World Records to pull me, to pull me. So if I make it, I'll be giving to the Guinness Book of World Records. And that was the trick that I used to pull me
Mhm.
all the way. But I did not realize that the marathon was that close. I was like, oh, shoot, this is so close. It's so close. And yeah, I did the best I could. I did the best I could. And
Well, you did great. You did great. You did it. I haven't done a marathon before the stroke or after. I'm clear at this point. I probably won't do a marathon. I did say at one point while in this recovery phase that I I know because I've worked the marathon for years. Before and after the stroke, and I said, you know what, running the marathon would be a nice closing chapter,
mm,
for me, to be able to do that. And at one point that was on my mind, but eventually it was just like, nah, I don't need to do that. And I think, you saying changing the narrative, I think that's very important, for folks, because my narrative had and has been, um, if if I act like everything is normal, and everything's okay. I mean, I still walk with a gait, a little bit of a limp or what have you. But as long as I don't give too much attention to it, I acknowledge it. It's
Mm,
happened. If somebody asks me about it, after the first year or two, I figure I told everybody. There are still people. If people haven't seen me in a long time, they'll be like, "What happened to you?" And I just
mm.
forget. Oh, I haven't seen this person. They don't know because I
Wow.
just continue to you just continue to move along, and I guess that's my way of changing the narrative so that it doesn't become, oh, Marco had a stroke. It's more, okay, Marco, is he's had a challenge and he's passed it, type of thing.
Wow.
Not that I'm past it necessarily, in my mind I know it's still there, as I'm sure it's like that with you, but to not have to focus on it all the time and to do everything you can do is just differently. You just have your body adapts and you adapt. That's part of evolution. It's just being able to adapt.
Yeah, wow. That's really interesting because that's really interesting because for me, I don't communicate as well as I used to.
Hmm.
Like there's that small hitch. You heard it. I was trying to remember the hope stroke awareness. I was trying to,
Right.
like easy stuff. And
Hmm.
so I find it difficult to go back and speak to people whom I haven't talked to in a long time because I feel like they're going to sniff out the difference. Like, oh, no, he doesn't sound like he used to. And because of that, I have stayed away from most people, honestly, and I've kind of pulled myself back. And people have always wanted to do some variation of something I used to do, like go out, have some drinks. I don't even drink anymore. Like things that I used to do, and I just don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do that
Hmm.
anymore, and so it's been very difficult to talk to those people. I will say that I just ran into a friend of mine from from undergrad. From undergrad, I was
Hmm.
walking down here by the house in New York. I'm in New York, folks, and I she saw me and she stopped, and it took me a while to even register who she was because it had been so long. I mean, I don't think I've seen her. I can't remember when I've seen her since, but I think
Hmm.
it's been like undergrad. I think so. I think it's been undergrad. And so she said that I was doing well. She said that she was doing. She made it sound like I was doing perfectly, and I was like, I don't, I don't know, I don't know, because
Right.
when she found me, I was looking for a flower bed. I was looking for a flower bed so I could sit down. I'm tired of walking. I need to find a flower bed so I could sit down. And so I found a flower bed and I sat down. And she was talking to me and telling me that I was doing well. And so I guess I have to push myself to see people because you're like talking to everybody like as if it never happened, as if it never happened. And me, I'm like you know.
Yeah, I mean, because one of the things, because like when I first had the stroke and was in rehab and recovery, I thought a lot about football player who played for the New England Patriots for years, Teddy Bruschi, and he's been on TV and all that, but he had a severe stroke, uh, and he came all the way back and played football for another 4 or 5 years
What?
in the NFL after that.
What?
Uh, Very similar in terms of paralysis, all that. They never knew if he'd come back. So in my head initially, I was like, well, it can be done.
Mm,
I can come back and be who I was.
mm,
But eventually, I realized he's a world class athlete. His body is trained to really do all the work. You know, and it's and he can and it'll snap back quicker than mine might.
mm,
I was nowhere near a world class athlete before or since. So, but in terms of who I am, my communication, my mind is like everything still functions from that level. So I can still be me. And then once you realize that, there are many people who are not in our position, 50% of the people who have strokes in this country, you know, die from the stroke or complications of the stroke.
Whoa, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I hadn't heard that yet. Say that
Yeah.
again.
So possibly 50, and this was, and I think it stayed the same from the time I had the stroke 11 years ago. About 50% of the people in the U.S. who have strokes either die from the stroke itself or complications of the stroke.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
so that also meant to me that there's a second life. So,
Mm,
I'm living, I'm breathing, I gotta live. I can't not, you know, be me. I gotta enjoy this life because I had a stroke at 42. Who
mm,
knows what could happen
right.
in the next day, month, whatever. So that's also a large part of me making sure that I'm gonna act as much like me as possible. And
Mm,
if there are people who like I'll go to events like Essence Music Festival or whatever
mm,
and be amongst a whole lot of people, and this is when I used to use my cane. I no longer use my cane, but when I use my cane, people would just think I have a back issue or something like that, or I have a nerve issue. They don't know that I had the stroke.
mm.
It's like, okay, if it's not something I need to dwell on. It's not something I'm going to ignore, but it's not something that I need to dwell on because, again, and we've talked about this before. I just look at I'm differently able. I have to, I can do everything I used to do. It's just differently. Now
Wow.
sometimes I have to prove to myself, or I've proven to myself that there's some things I can't do, but I'm gonna have to figure out that I can't do it. I'm not just gonna not try to do anything I could do before.
Right. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that that's where I put my uh I'm trying to say that your being normal for me hasn't been on topic, right? So I think I put my normal into doing extraordinary things
Mm,
because I'm like, all right, maybe that'll make me feel normal. Maybe running a marathon will make me feel normal, and it'll help in some way. And so, what I've noticed is that it does change the channel,
hmm
but but it changes the channel like all the way.
That was
Like now, I'm like, hold on now. I'm still feeling the effects. I'm still my right hand side still hurts. I took yoga. I took Tai Chi. I took Tai Chi Sunday and Monday this week. So let me tell you, Tai
oh
Chi.
yeah, how is that? Yeah.
I used to take Tai Chi, as a full bodied person, right? It was nothing. It's nothing. It felt good. It felt like yeah, it felt good. But doing it now, it's hurtful. Like it hurts. Like because I got to move my right arm, right, and it hurts. And it's like it feels like there's a pressure on me. There's a pressure on me to go through it. And yesterday was the first time there was finally someone else that sat down. There was finally someone else that sat down during the class. And I was like, oh, thank goodness someone else sat down because everyone else has been standing up. I'm fine. I'm fine. Like, these are older people now. These are older people. And I was like, oh, man, I'm so tired from doing it. But it makes me feel tired, and it makes me feel so this chiropractor person described it makes me feel like there's some energy underneath the arm. I don't know how to say
Mhm.
it, but it's like my arm is like moving like this, right? But doing Tai Chi kind of puts it like this, You
Well,
know, kind of
as I
disconnected.
understand it, that's what a lot of Tai Chi is in terms of the movement of energy and the breathing techniques and that sort of thing helps, expand the energy in terms of how you're able to move. There's because there are different elements of it. Like here, you'll see people in the parks doing the movements, and it's Tai Chi like, but not necessarily the same as Tai Chi, but it's an element of it. And I think yoga is something because I did yoga, I've done acupuncture, so and I want to get back to doing yoga, so that's
Mm,
something you know um, that is always helpful because that's matter of fact I watch a lot of basketball. So Walt Frazier, who was legendary, New York Knicks player and calls the games. He talks all the time about how he does yoga and it makes him an extent. He feels it's extended his life and extended his activity
mm,
because he's been doing yoga for X amount of years.
mm.
So those things are certainly have a place and are helpful and so it's great that you're doing Tai Chi and it makes me say now I even more so need to get back into doing yoga since I know that there's yoga I can do via YouTube and I don't have to leave the house. We found all
Yeah,
these things we can do without having to leave the house. So, because
yeah,
I do get that part that you don't want to be out. I mean, that for me has been more since the pandemic. I've gotten back into being an only child, so I'm good not having to go anywhere.
yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. I feel you on that. And let me just say that it's not that I want to be out. It's that it's that if I don't run a mile every day, I don't give myself something to hold on to. Like to me,
Mm,
like that's what I'm holding on to. I'm holding on to
yeah, well,
everything I
yeah.
got.
Hold on to it.
Hold
Yeah,
on to it, right?
yeah. Hold
So
on to that.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and so that's what got me out to the Tai Chi class because people been suggesting Tai Chi for a while. My neighbor had been suggesting it. People been suggesting. I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But my fiance was like, you need to, this is information. Go in here now today. And I was like, all right. So I went and I was fascinated by that 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 discrepancy between the right side and the left side. And so that's what making me go. Because I want to say this that this brand of Tai Chi is much more complicated. Much more complicated than
Mm,
anything I've done before. I've taken Tai Chi before and it was much simpler. But I can't like let it go now because I'm just gonna stay there and keep on trying, keep on trying, and 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 keep on trying to I can get to some form of a betterment. You know what I mean? Just a little
yeah.
bit better, just a little bit better. You know?
Yeah. That's what it's all about. Whether you're stroke survivors like us or you're just an able body, you want to be better every day. So
Yeah, yeah,
so it's
yeah,
important to have those things. So yeah. So yoga, Tai Chi for you, yoga for me.
yeah.
That's what it
Let's do it. Let's do it.
is.
Yoga for you. Tai Chi
That's
for me. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And let's see how far we get or how far it helps us. How far
yes,
it helps us. Right?
absolutely,
All right.
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So we run out of time. We got to do this again, man. We got to do this again. We run out of time so quick. But yeah, I
Yeah,
really want to thank you for sharing yourself and really giving of what you've been going through. And I know you've said that you're like the big brother of everybody. You like giving everybody the information. I greatly appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. There's been times in my life where I've thought of you. I didn't say nothing to you, but I thought about you and how you handle the situation. I'm thinking, let me get my Marko on. Let me get my Marko on. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah. So thanks for having me. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here.
thanks for having me. Yeah,
Yeah, thanks.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And folks, remember that now is better than perfect. Now is better than perfect. Check out the Heroes hoodies. Buy a Hero hoodie. Buy a Hero hoodie because you can wear a Hero hoodie for my 500th day of running. My 500th day. Today was day 493. 493. So
Okay,
it's coming up fast. It's coming up fast. So get your Hero hoodie on. Go to SakeHeroes.com and get your hoodie. And I know Marko already has his. Marko
I do
already
have
has
mine.
his.
I should have worn it. I do have
Yeah,
mine though. I
yeah,
have
yeah.
mine.
So he's got his. So get yours. Get yours. All right, folks. We'll see you next time. Later.